Welcome to our channel. We have a new card for our series, Spotlight Cards. Let your coloring take center stage. I'm Elena Cáceres. This is a clear stamp by Stampedous called Rose Friend. This was colored by Amy Scholke from Vanilla Arts. I will link to Amy's blog so you can read her article about this. Her finished project was scanned and printed twice for this card. Our card note this time will measure 5 by 5, and I have a piece of cardstock that measures 10 by 5, so I'm going to score it at 5 inches to make our card note. Yeah, this scoring thing is just not my thing. I tried every single week, and every single week it's crooked. Maybe next week. Next week will be better. So I'm just gonna fold it, and I'm using my bone folder, which I love. It doesn't leave any shiny spots when you score it. So now we have the two images. And what we are going to do is we are going to cut both of them. They are both going to be the same size, which is going to be 4 by 4. And make sure that it doesn't have any extra white on the sides. So once this is cut, just make sure that it is 4 by 4. And now I'm gonna see where I want my sentiment to be cut. We are gonna use the eclipse technique. We are gonna cut this once, of course, on our image, and then we're gonna cut it a couple of times on white cardstock to give it more dimension. I'm gonna speed it up because I'm kind of slow taking out all the little pieces from the die cuts. But I still want you to see the whole process. This is my favorite glue now. It's called Connect from Gina K. I started using it a couple of weeks ago, but we had not used it in a video. I have heard a lot about it, but I have not tried it until now. The tip is so delicate, you can use it in tiny bitty spaces, and it doesn't clog. I used it again for about 2 weeks already. And it doesn't clog, so I love that. Especially for these die cuts that are so thin. When you place it on top of your bigger ones, of your thicker ones, of your shadows, you can see the glue because you add too much. With this one, you don't. So I loved it. And I particularly like these kind of dies that have the shadow on the back, and then we put the delicate cut on the front. So this is how I want to place my die cut on the top of it. I love the dimension in my cards, and while my cards might be simple, when you see them, they always have some dimension. So this is foam. I could use foam tape, but the foam tape is expensive. This foam is from the dollar store. You get 2 or 3 pieces of 11 by 13 for $1, so that's great. Or you can order it in Amazon. I've seen it there too, and they also have different colors. So our image is 4 by 4. So what we did is I mark the foam to be 3 and 7/8 and on both sides. So it's gonna be a little bit smaller than the image, I think. Good. So we're putting our double-sided tape. The other good thing about using this foam is that when you mail your card, it doesn't get damaged as much. But if you notice what happens when you use the foam tape, you can see a little bit of dents in it when you mail it. Of course, it wasn't the right size, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit with my scissors. And now we have the image ready. Now from my stash, I got this piece of cardstock. It's just a purple, deep purple one, and we're gonna cut it to show on the bottom and left side of the image. The idea is to give this image a shadow. With markers, it would not show in the card. It would not show as well. So I decided to do this, since the marker that I would use would be a violet kind of color to give shadow to this image. So we're just gonna cut it. Is there a paper cutter you recommend? I have this one, but I don't feel it cuts as sharp as I would like it. I have a bigger one, and that one I like, but it's too big. Anyway, if you do, can you leave me a message on the comments? Now we're just gonna be adding double-sided tape to this piece of foam. I want to add foam to the back of the purple cardstock. And now we're just gonna start assembling it. Make sure that you can see a little bit of it on the bottom of the image and to the left of the image. Now you're gonna think it looks a little bit off center, but remember that we're putting our image on top of it. I'm marking with my pencil because I want to make sure that the border left out, the white part that we're going to be able to see around the cardstock, it is even on all the sides. Now on this one, because I was still concerned that I would not place it evenly, I'm using Connect glue from Gina K. So we can actually move it. Now that one I was about to start putting the tape, but we do not need tape on the top and the right side of it. We only need tape on the bottom and the left side. And we're using glue also so we can wiggle it together. And now we're just going to be adding our sentiment. Place it where it will match with your background. Remember that we had the same image at the beginning and we cut it from one of them. We're just going to glue it together. We're not putting any double-sided tape. So that part is done, and now we're just gonna add some drops that I found. I will link it in the description box. So what I do for this is I'm going to add a little bit of glue to some of the water drops in the image, and then I will add the drops. I don't know, are they called drops? They're not sequins, so they look like water drops. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification button so you can get a notice every time that we upload a new video. Our next video is going to be next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central, and we're going to do something different. We are actually going to color. We're going to color and make a card. It will be a little bit different. And yes, I always have such a hard time with these drops. What do you call them? They're not sequins and they're not shiny. Anyway, let me know. And then I decided to put more. That's me. I put more and I do more. And this is pretty much our final product, our card. I think it's pretty cute. Don't forget to watch us next week. Thank you. Bye.